What's up guys, today we're going to be doing a Bandos guide, and this is because I finished my King of the God series. So this is going to be the Bandos guide on how to kill Bandos and how I personally killed Bandos. Remember that you can change the setup to however you want to tweak it to your best needs, but this is how I killed it personally. If you click to the top left, then you can go check out my King of the God series, just in case you haven't seen it so far. It has all the episodes of King of the God series and an introduction video to it. So moving on to our actual video here. This one's going to be a little bit different, as I did make it sort of interactive. What I did was, you can click anywhere of each of the parts on screen, which I recommend you have your annotations on, so that way you can click anywhere on the screen of where you want to go in the video. If you want to go to the equipment section, then you click the equipment icon. If you want to click the inventory, then you click the inventory icon, and so on. So that's how you're going to navigate through the video. The first thing that we're going to be looking at is information on Bandos, so meet you guys there. As you can see from the picture, that's General Grado or Gardo, or however you wish to pronounce it, otherwise known as Bandos. His total HP is 40,000, he gives 4,430 XP per kill, his max hit is 2,629 with melee and 500 to 600 with range. So remember, that's how Bandos looks, and that's what his info is. Checking out the minions of Bandos, this is going to be the first minion, which is Sergeant Steelwheel. He is the first one you want to kill because he uses mage. He has a max hit of 365. As with all the minions, he drops all the Bandos armor and the shards, only he drops them very rarely comparing it to Bandos. I mean, they all drop it very less often than Bandos does, because I mean, obviously they're lower level, they're not meant to drop it that often. In all of the King of the God series, I think I only received I received one item from the whole entire series from one of the minions, and I don't remember exactly which one that was, but I did only receive one out of 1,000 kills. The rest I all got it from Bandos, so it's very rare to get it from him. Remember that you can click on the image if you want to see a wiki link, the Runescape wiki link to his information. Next on the list of Bandos' minions is Sergeant Grimspike. He uses range, he has a max hit of 210, and he's to be killed second because he is also very accurate, just like the mage one. He also drops the armor and the shards very rarely, and you can also click on his image to check out the information on the RuneScape wiki of what he does and drops. Last on the list of Bandos' minions is Sergeant Strongstack. He uses melee, his max hit is 159, and he's to be killed last because he is not very accurate and he does not hit at all very high. He also does drop the armor and the shards very rarely, just as all the other ones, and you can also click on his image to check out his information. Those are all the Bandos' minions, and you can review them back if you want. The next thing on the list is how to get there. I understand that some of you are high level, don't already know, but you know, there are some people who watch who don't know yet, and I feel like I need to help them with that. So you can check out how we're going to get there right now. To get to the actual God Wars dungeon, you will need either 60 strength or 60 agility, and you can take out the map that I've laid out. You can follow the red line, that's the fastest way down, but some people might not have the agility level or have not done the quest or something. I don't know what's your problem, but either way, the blue way is the slower way, the red way is the faster way. Both ways meet up at the green boulder, which it's not actually green, but I just made it green. And there's where you're going to need the 60 strength or 60 agility, because you're going to need to push a boulder aside, and that's where you need it. After that, both lines meet up as a black line, and you follow it into like a little pit in the ground, and that's where the God Wars actual dungeon is. Once you go down into the God Wars pit, you'll arrive at the red circle. Then you can follow either of the the white lines to either of the blue circles. Either blue circle has the minions, which you can kill for the pre-boss room, so that way you can get into the actual boss room, which is highlighted in green. You need 40 kill count to get into the actual boss room, so you'll need to kill 40 of Bandos' followers to get into the actual Bandos room. So you can kill them in either of the blue circles. Now that we know how to get there and information on Bandos and his minions, we want to know what to take. So here's going to be the equipment that I took. Remember that you can tweak it to however you want, because I am a higher level and I do have better gear than some people, and that's why I might have gone better. My trips might have gone better than how yours will go. So remember, you can change it however you want. I will be showing two ways to kill Bandos. I did two ways, which was mage and melee. They were using Drygores and seismics, but you know, not everyone has that gear, so definitely you can do it to however you want to fit your needs. Welcome to the equipment portion of the video. Remember that you can tweak this setup to however you want to fit your needs, but this is my setup and this is what I used when killing the 1000 Bandos kills. Now keep in mind that not everyone has seismics and neither did I. I borrowed my brother's. I personally have Virtus. Now, so it won't work as well as if you only use Virtus, but you know, it still works fairly well. For the actual gear, I used a demon horn necklace as always to keep my prayer up. For the skill cape, or for the cape in general, I use the skill cape because it keeps your crit up to 2%, it gives a 2 prayer bonus, and also gives 33 armor bonus, which isn't that bad, but you can tweak it to however you want. If you have a completionist cape, a max cape, or if you want to use the god capes, all of those are great examples and you can use whatever you want. Moving on to the boots and gloves, I used Virtus because it gives a good offensive bonus and it gives a little tiny bit of damage. It doesn't give that much defense though, but the Sea Singers makes up for it. For the ring, I used a Ring of Vigor because it keeps your adrenaline up and it lets you have faster kills overall. For the aura, I used a penance aura because it keeps your prayer up and you won't have to bring that many prayer pots. You'll see how many prayer pots I bring in the inventory section of the video. For the scrimshaw slot, I bring a Sign of Life because sometimes there's times that I'm not paying attention. Let's say I'm watching a movie or whatever, I'll not be paying attention, I'll die, so it saves me quite a few times. But you can bring whatever you want. Let's say you can bring a scrimshaw of magic or whatever you want to bring that fits you. Alrighty, so that's going to be the magic portion of the equipment. Remember that now we'll be moving on to the melee portion. In the melee setup, I use Tetsu and Drygores because that's just what works for me, but remember you can do it whatever you want. I use Tetsu because it has good defense bonus, so I can stay there quite a while. I averagely stay there 250 KC, but that's just because I get bored and I just feel like leaving. For the amulet, use the same amulet and as the mage setup. It just keeps your prayer up, so it's nice to be able to not bring many prayer pots. Same ring, you're going to use the same aura, same scrimshaw, at least for me. For the boots and gloves, I use Steadfast and Toro gloves. Steadfast because it has a good defense bonus, and it also looks cool again. But remember, they're pretty expensive, so you can use whatever you want. For the Torva gloves, I use Torva because it is not a defensive glove, but it is an offensive glove, so it gives a little bit of edge on the bonus of damage, because obviously maces don't have as much damage as the long swords or the Drygore rapiers, so that's why I use a little bit of damage. It also lets me get the kill faster, so that's why it's helpful. So that's my melee setup. Now we're going to move on to the abilities. You'll be seeing the mage and melee abilities that I used when I was killing my 1000 Bandos kills. This is going to be the mage ability bar. Remember, you can do whatever you want, but this is what fit my needs. First, I have the basic abilities. Then we have my 2 thresholds, which was mild magic and asphyxiate. Then we have my 3 stalling adrenaline abilities. Finally, we have sunshine, which obviously you can use metamorphosis if you don't have sunshine. We have Gothic blessing, and then we finally have high alchemy. So this was my regular DPSing ability bar, which I used at Bandos for the 1000 kills when I did use seismics. I don't know if it would be the same for Virtus, most likely it would be, but this is what I used with seismics. If you look down at my ability bar, this is what my ability bar was set up like when I was killing 1000 Bandos. First you have the basic abilities, which you can see what those are and you can change it to whatever you want. Then at the number 5 and 6 I have Assault and Destroy, which are my thresholds. Finally, at number 7 I have Berserker. What I did was, I would stall my adrenaline, and at the beginning of every single kill I would use Berserker, then work my way up to 1 threshold, either one you want, Destroy or Assault. I mostly used Assault because it's a little bit of a better ability. So that's how you got the kill really fast. But that is a little dangerous, keep in mind, because when you use Assault, your defense level sort of, in a way, goes down, and it lets more attacks come at you, and that's why I bring a Sign of Life, because sometimes that Berserker sometimes almost kills me, and that's why I bring that. Then we have my stalling adrenaline abilities, which are Freedom, Anticipation, and Surge, or you can use Escape on the range side. But I use Surge because I don't know, that's my preference. Then we have Gothic's Blessing for healing. Sometimes, you know, once you want to preserve your food, and you don't want to exactly just eat it all up, so that's why I sometimes use Gothic's Blessing to save a few food. And, you know, Rocktails are pretty expensive too, so they're like 2.3k each. So they're pretty expensive, that's why you want to preserve your food. Finally, on the last portion of my bar, I do have high alchemy, and that's again, like I said, because I don't have a yak, nor do I feel like bringing a magic notes paper. So I high alch all my rune items and all the stuff that you get, and you do get a lot of rune items. You get rune longswords, rune two hands, rune plate bodies. You get a lot of, so you know, you got a lot of stuff to high alch. And each 100 kills of Bandos, which is 400 KC, I usually ended up with 1.3 mil cash as an average from picking up all the cash and high alching all the items. So that's going to be my ability bar. If you want another good ability to use, you should use Debilitate, which is on the defense abilities. It basically, to give a summary of the ability, you basically kick Bandos or whatever you're doing, whatever boss you're killing. When you kick him, it basically, if the kick hits, then it'll half your damage in half. So let's say Bandos was going to hit me for a 4,000, I used Debilitate, and the Debilitate worked, then it would only hit me for a 2,000. So that's basically a basic summary of how Debilitate actually works. So that's a very good ability to use there. Finally, moving on to the last part of the guide, this is going to be the inventory of what I took when I did melee and mage. It's going to be the same for both ways. Moving on to the inventory portion of the video, as you can see, I brought 4 overloads. That's going to last me more than 2 hours, because obviously when your overload runs out, you don't want to like immediately re-overload. You want to wait till the actual boss spawns. So that's why in the end you end up going for like a 2.5 hour trip, because of that little extra minute or 2 every time that you save. It slowly adds up, and that's why I actually bring 3 auras. As you saw from the equipment part of the video, you can see that I had penance as one of the auras. That's why I have 2 other auras in my inventory, as an aura lasts about an hour, depending on what aura you bring. Penance, Supreme Reverence, and Vampirism all last an hour each. Obviously, that minute, as I said, that you save off the overloads, it'll add up. So that's why your trip ends up being more than 2 hours, and which is why you need more than 2 auras. Obviously, you don't have to bring more than 2, I just do it as my personal setup. For the actual auras in my inventory, I personally bring Supreme Reverence and Vampirism. Vampirism because after a while you start getting drops like Super Restores and stuff like that. So you get, once you run out of the prayer auras, you have enough prayer, but you don't have enough food. So that's why you can use the Vampirism at the end to stay a little bit longer on the food portion. For the Supreme Reverence, at the beginning you want to use that right after Penance, because then that'll save you a little bit on prayer, so you can have that the prayer portion ready for when you have Vampirism out. As you can see at the bottom, I do have a Bone Crusher, and that's because in my 1,000 kills, I was using a Demon Horn necklace to bury the bones and give me prayer. So that's why I have a Bone Crusher down there. Obviously, you don't have to bring it if you're not going to use a Demon Horn necklace, but that's what I did. I have 500 fire runes and 100 nature runes because you do high alch some stuff there, or at least I did. Obviously, you can bring magic note paper, or if you have a yak, you can bank stuff with the yak. I don't have a yak personally, which I will be getting soon. So that'll be in the next season of the King of the Gods. I'll be having a yak, so that's why I don't have to bring the high alch runes anymore. I can just bank them. But that's why I brought the high alch runes, and they're pretty helpful because, you know, the cash adds up. I do have 1 Super Restore Flask just for the, you know, emergency use, and I do have 3 tortoises in my inventory because each tortoise lasts, I'm not exactly sure, but around 45 minutes or so, or a little more, a little less, give or take 5 minutes. So that's why you want to have the Super Restores, because after a while your summoning level goes down, and you know you don't have enough to renew your pouch. So that's why I bring that along. Plus, after a while, you're gonna end up using it after your penance and Supreme Reverence runs out. I have a full inventory of food otherwise, and like I said before, my 4 overloads. So that's what I have. Also, in the bottom right hand corner, I almost forgot, I do have 5 teleports instead of just 1. You know, if you bring 1 after you use it up, it would save an extra space. But why I bring 5 is because, I mean, you don't need 5, you can just bring 2. But I have it there as an extra, like, emergency teleport. Because, you know, if you, like, emergency, like, need to teleport out for something, you can't run across the room to the altar, you might die. Or if you DC or something like that, you want to spam click on that so you can get out fast. And obviously when you're in combat, you can't exactly home teleport. And the home teleport by itself also takes quite a bit of while of time. So that's why I bring 5 emergency teleports. Obviously you don't need that much. So thanks for watching the inventory portion of the video. Congratulations, you have made it through the guide, or if you have skipped through, even then, still congratulations. Now you know, or at least have a better understanding of what to do at Bandos, and have a better understanding of what I did during my series. Remember that I'll put it up there again, that you can click to the top left to go check out my series. Please do, a lot of people really did like it. Leave a like if this guide helped you, because I really did put a lot of work into it. I actually put around 7 or 8 hours work into it, I pretty much worked on it for quite a while, like 3-4 days. So it's been nice working on that, and I took a little break off after my series to get my head together. Now I'm gonna start working on getting my yak. I do have 92, sorry, I think summoning, and I will be able to get 96. I've been doing a lot of glade cores, and I did get some cool drops, hint hint, so we might see a video on that. Other way, guys, thanks again for watching. Leave a comment if this helped you, and leave a like if it helped you, and leave a comment on what else I forgot from the guide, or anything else that I just didn't remember, or anything else that can help other people also watching this guide. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a nice day.